channel. Hope everybody's having a great week this week. It is actually the end of June, and as you know, I am in the North Carolina area. And you know what? It's starting to get up in the upper 90s with the humidity level very high, which basically means we, actually hitting a little bit over 100. Because this morning while I was, getting our equipment loaded onto the trailer, I actually busted a little bit of a sweat. But it's kind of cloudy today, but that humidity level is making it, seem a little bit hotter than what it is. All right, so if you guys kind of think about this, is when you actually giving out estimates to new customers or the existing customers that you acquired at the time when you actually gave the estimate, have you ever kind of wondered why did they choose you, or why did they not choose you? Just kind of think about that thing. Now, of course, customers that did not choose you or select your estimate, most of us will say, well, my estimate must have been a little bit too high. But it's it's a little bit more actually added to that, because you never know, because you can't go up to say a potential customer that didn't accept your offer, because you can't go up to them and say, hey, why did you accept my offer? Because that doesn't look too professional. All right, and the ones that you did acquire, on the flip side of that, was your estimate a little bit too low? Just something to kind of think about. And also, you should actually ask that customer, when you do acquire new customers, hey, what, how'd you hear about me? And however they heard about you, that's, you might as well say that's sort of like your niche. And you need to, stay on top of that niche to make sure that other people do the same thing. But there's something in business that's called PI. The P stands for performance, the I stands for image, and the E actually stands for exposure. Now, without you Googling this thing or anything like that, which one do you think is, out of 100%, which one do you think is the highest? Is it performance? Is it image? Or is it exposure? Now, I took a class on this like years ago, at my 9-to-5 job, and for some reason it just kind of popped in my head, and I'm kind of sharing it with you guys. My first thought, hey, it was performance. But that's not the case. That's actually the lowest. So let me kind of share the percentages with you. Performance, which is the P, is 10%. Image is 30%. And your exposure is actually 60%. Now, that should make you kind of scratch your head. So majority of customers that you probably acquired is through exposure. Now, the thing is, we need all three of the PI theory to be successful in our lawn care journey. Because as far as, say, if your exposure numbers are high, but you suck at cutting lawns, now first you might get the customer because of your exposure rate is high. But over time, customer only put up with so much. So we got to make sure that we perform. When we get that job, that we actually do perform, even though it's 10%. And also going to the next one, which is that image. Now, I see this all the time, and this is not putting anybody down or anything like that. I would recommend, you kind of wear a uniform or wear the same kind of stuff that you wear, when you actually out here servicing lawns. So, so the customer kind of know who you are. Because if you kind of think of, without saying the truck and trailer and things like that, but, say if you go into one of your favorite grocery stores or restaurants, you see everybody kind of, have that type of uniform on, and you kind of know exactly where you're at. Now, again, recommend, don't just get up like you just got up, just hopping on the mower, cutting people's lawns, smoking cigarettes. I see people smoke cigars, cutting lawns and stuff. Now, you would probably keep that lawn for a little bit. You might be able to perform at the top of your game. Your performance level might be high. your exposure level might be high. But if your image is not intact, just depending on who that customer is, it's something that drove them to keep you. And say if you are out there looking like anything, it might be the price that's actually keeping you on, okay? And also exposure. Now, with exposure, and this is probably due to word of mouth, might be Google reviews. So you got to make sure that with your exposure, especially if somebody recommended you, you can actually hurt that person's credibility. Just say if you say you don't do a good job, you show up when you get ready or show up whatever day you want to, your image is not intact, but your exposure levels are high, you will actually end up losing that customer over time as well, or maybe right away. And also, you will actually hurt the person that referred you to that, to cut that line. So we actually need all three, to be successful in this lawn care journey. So again, the PI theory in lawn care, the P is P in performance is 10%, image is 30%, and your exposure is actually 60%. So again, we need all three. And let me know if you can, or if you want to, which one did you really and truly think was the highest? And I'll share mine. I thought it was performance. All right, guys, I'll see you on another one.